Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Let's Play Death Stranding. My apologies for the lack of videos in the past week or so. I'm not sure how long it's actually been since the last episode. If it's been a couple weeks, I'm sorry. Real life has taken over. But now I have regained the clutches, and it is time to continue this marvelous adventure. I'm just trying to make sure there's nothing weird happening. Oh wait, I guess we were just having another nightmare. Excellent. Things are going unbelievably well. Also, is the frame rate okay? Okay, yeah, it does seem like it's alright, but VSync isn't on. Give me a second. Alright, I've re-enabled VSync. Alright, let's go read through some of the mail before we continue on here. We got a few pieces of mail. Big episode, the last one, as we have now moved on to, you could say, a new continent. Because pretty much the eastern side of the United States of America has been entirely separated by craters and water. And we had to just boat our way across over into Central America. So, pretty crazy stuff. Let's go ahead and look at our first email from William Lake in Lake Knot City. Don't keep the others waiting. Don't keep the others waiting. Hey, Sam. Can't tell you how good it was to see you coming over the water on that boat. First time we've welcomed so much as a turd in. What must have been like 2 years now? Some folks were even saying everything east of Ground Zero must have been wiped out completely. The occasional message drifted in from HQ, but people? Not a one. We'd have given up on the Cupid ever being finished. On the second expedition, the whole shebang. And then you showed up, and with a working Cupid to boot, our knight in shining armor. Sorry. Don't mean to sound like I'm not grateful. I am. More than you know. Every single person here was waiting for someone like you to come along. And there'll be more waiting west of here. A lot more. You'd best go find them. Next one from Victor Frank from Port Knot City, reestablishing shipping lanes. How's it going, Sam? So, you put Port Knot City back on the map. Not bad. Folks around here seem pretty pumped about becoming part of the UCA and all that comes with it. Chiral printers especially. You should have seen their faces when I gave them a demo. It was like I was conjuring equipment out of thin air. Oh, and before I forget, I should also thank you for all the stuff you brought, and for taking care of that BT too. You've given everyone a shot of inspiration and courage to carry on. And there's not much that's more precious than that these days. There was a time when I was so shit scared of BTs that I just wanted to shut myself away and hide forever. But that's not an option. I know that now. We're on the front line here. Bridges isn't gonna make it all the way west if we don't step up our game. But don't worry, we won't let you down. We'll get Port Knot City back on its feet in no time. I won't take up any more of your time. That's all I have to say. Anyway. A couple of guys wanted me to write you to make sure you knew we had your back. Come what may, we won't be throwing in the towel. Same goes for you, right, Sam? Lastly, Jake Wind Farm. Tell Amelie we're true believers. Dear Sam, how's it going? Still heading west? We're rooting for you. We were part of the second group, so we never got to speak with Amelie face to face. Caught the occasional holo message, but that was about it. Still, every little bit helped to keep us going. She's just like her mother. Tough, clever, easy on the eye, too. Won't lie and say I didn't notice. But what really resonated with us was that the fire she carries. That conviction. Same as Bridget. Any one of us would have laid down our lives in service of her vision. I suppose this is all a long-winded way of saying you ought to move on and meet her like we never got to. And when you do, tell her we're all still believers in the cause. And in her. And her mother. You'll do that, won't you? Alright. How much interviews do we got? Probably a few, right? We did get a few more data chips as well. Looks like we got another email from Preppers, Fragile, it's not Preppers, another email from Fragile called Preppers. We also had an email called Crypto Buyouts, because she's addicted to them. Because whenever she teleports, I think it sucks away her blood like a vampire. All right, 2 years ago, Lake Knot City. When I was a little girl, my father told me that preppers were people who decided long ago that they couldn't trust their nation to be there for them anymore. That the bonds between us had grown weak long before the Death Stranding. We once had a network spanning the whole wide world that could send items from anywhere to anywhere and connect anyone with anything. But still, we were isolated. Still, we were alone. Some liked it that way and even wanted more. They wanted walls along their borders, wanted to turn away refugees and outsiders. Some even wanted new nations all their own. They began to see the state as an enemy of their freedom, not a protector of it. The ones most far gone, they didn't trust the country to defend them if something went really wrong. War, terrorism, natural disaster, you name it. So, they built shelters and stocked full of supplies. They built shelters stocked full of supplies in preparation for the worst. And then the worst did happen. The Death Stranding. America ceased to exist, and their shelters became their homes, where they would live and they would die. But while they'd prepared, they hadn't prepared to live their life forever there. Which is why they wound up relying on us couriers so heavily. My father and I didn't want to go back to the old America. We didn't want a country that pushed people apart. We wanted we wanted one that brought them together. That allowed them to support one another, and that was what we tried to work toward. Man, one sec. I need to drink some water. I'm losing it here. So, interesting. So everyone basically went to these underground bunkers, and were like, yeah, so if disaster happens, we'll just get out and, Fallout 76 it. But it turns out it's too late. There's already too many bugs, and they're already 16 times the detail. All right, one more email or interview here from the Bridges staff, so Randy, named Victor. Oh, it's Victor. 2.5 years ago, Port Knot City. When I first laid eyes on the lake here at Ground Zero, I was blown away by the sheer size of it. I never imagined anything could be so huge. This was just after the Death Stranding, and not many people had seen the craters up close. Back when I was still living with my parents and my brother on the East Coast, an explosion like nothing the world had seen before tore a gaping hole in the heart of America. There were all kinds of rumors floating around at the time, that it was a meteor, that it was a nuke dropped by another country. I was just a kid, but even I could tell that the adults didn't have a clue. So you can imagine how I felt. And then, when we found out there had been other explosions, not just here in America, but the world over, by the time we learned they were voidouts, and what voidouts really were, the country was pretty much done. Man, that'd be horrifying. Like, just voidouts just happening globally. A pandemic, if you will. Hilariously, though, this game came out before anything like that happened. So, of course, the question has always arisen out to Kojima. It's like, hey, wait, did you predict this insanity? And he's like, no, this game's about people coming together. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Of course, the game gets flack for seemingly being pretentious, which is an interesting word to put it, considering it comes from such a wholesome idea of, like, reconnecting with your fellow peers, your fellow gamers and things like that, and, like, Hideo Kojima's real meaning behind everything is just everyone coming together for the greater good, or something along those lines. Perhaps not the greater good as portrayed in the movie Hot Fuzz. That greater good is definitely not the greater good you want to do, and perhaps also not the greater good of the Tau from Warhammer 40k. But I like the meaning behind everything that you do in this game. I think it's really wholesome. I don't think there's any sort of, like, I don't know, maliciousness to it, or clout chasing, or anything like that going on with this type of game. Hey, what up? What? You disabled my markers, bro. You monster. Alright, we'll check on BB real quick. Maybe we were having a nightmare within a nightmare within a nightmare? Because I'm pretty sure we already had one nightmare. How you doing, bud?
Hey, baby.
Alright, we're good. No additional nightmares to stack on top of our nightmares. Now, if you're wondering, like, hey, what's what's with all these weird nightmares happening to Sam? Basically, as more things happen into the game, you can kind of peer into his mental state a little bit and what he's thinking about by, you know, examining certain things in his room. There's no negatives to it in gameplay, though. So overall, there's nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. But I think it's kind of like a little cute thing to, like, peer into the mind of one Sam Bridges. All right, let's go for the navy blue, because I think I tried doing this before and I just forgot to confirm it. And we got our wonderful hat. All right, sweet. We'll just confirm and back out. And now that should save. We can finally take our first steps into the first area of the map. Oh, wait, we have some crypto buyouts over here. I don't think we actually looked at these before. Oh, right, yeah, there's some animations for this. So we might as well watch these. You may ask yourself, hey, what is the point of this? The answer may shock you. There is no point. Gotta restore that blood, Sam. Your blood is the only thing that can fight the BTs, as far as we know. So, as you may know, if you've done like research on Death Stranding at all, Hideo Kojima loves to say things about all this mocap in here. Basically, everything in this private room is ad-lib, I guess you could say. Improv, probably the better word. It's just all random shit that Norman Reedus came up with as they were just filming. Apparently this took hours and hours and multiple weeks to come up with. Who knows why, but that just happens to be the case. But I guess as we set out on our new world, let's go ahead and put on our hat. And prepare ourselves for the brave new land that we will be on. We'll even wear our Half-Life glasses. Excellent. Interesting. He doesn't have a custom animation because they didn't record that. Because look, watch. If we put on these glasses... Oh no! They changed it! So, before you would actually physically put these glasses on, like you would walk over, pick them up, and put them on. But I wonder if the Half-Life glasses have, like, effectively removed an animation from the game. Wow, that's super weird. Well, alright. The more you know, I guess. Anyway, we are now, in fact, Gordon Freeman. Perhaps we'll run across the Thin Man. Maybe I gotta turn off VSync here, though. Noticing some weird lagginess for me. But in the recording, it's fine, so I don't get it.
Access the Lake Knot City delivery terminal. Until departure.
Alright, nice. We got 661 likes. Hell yeah. Got a few people using our bridge, and 33 players have given us 578 likes because they are pleased with me. Excellent. I am pleased with myself.
Sam, to review. Your present objective is to extend the chiral network from Lake Knot City to South Knot City. To that end, you'll need to utilize prepper shelters as way stations. Frankly, it won't be easy. Fragile's tried to get some of them on board, but you know how preppers are. More than a few won't want anything to do with the UCA. So we've got to prove to them they're better off with us. Figure out what they need and what we can provide, and then deliver. Do that, and they just might agree to join us. All right. Get to it. The list of orders is on the terminal.
Alright, let's just hand in these memory chips real quick before we continue on.
You picked this up for me? You shouldn't have. Really.
I am a dog. You have my heartfelt gratitude.
All right, got a album cover, 2 album covers, and Big Fish.
Thank you for your contribution.
Is it real Big Fish though? The most important thing of all. All right, let's see. Oh, Big Fish. There we go. According to director Tim Burton, it was the death of his father that led him to make this highly personal piece in which young hero Will revels in his dad's fantastic tales, only to come to resent him as he grows old enough to realize that they're nothing but wild flights of fancy. The movie explores the conflict and eventual reconciliation between a father who seemingly can't help embellishing the truth, and a son who's desperate to understand him before it's too late. Big Fish stories might be bad enough, but when you consider that Big Bang was a term originally intended to imply that the story of the origin of the universe was nothing but hot air, you start to think that all existence might be one tall tale. I think we already looked at the Seven Samurai, Death Stranding. 12-inch of the soundtrack to the legendary video game Death Stranding, featuring tracks such as I'll Keep Comin' and Easy Way Out. Listening to it is sure to send soul-soothing oxytocin surging around your system, and by the time it's finished, you'll be holding hands with anyone who happens to be beside you. Game director Hideo Kojima discovered this music of Low Roar by chance while browsing in a record store in Iceland. Wow, fancy that he'd be in Iceland. Have I mentioned that the world of America in this game is based off Iceland? So yeah, in a record store in Iceland, and went on to use I'll Keep Comin' in the first trailer for the game, a perfect example of the strands of fate doing their work. Aw. I love that. This was Low Roar's second album, 0/Low Roar, and the record which holds Hideo Kojima picked up on a visit to Iceland when the band first came to his attention. His driver at the time, a member of a band known as Iceland's Joy Division, took him to a record store where Low Roar was playing in the background. Right from the moment Mr. Kojima first heard the band, he wanted to use their music in one of his games, and Death Stranding proved the perfect opportunity to do so. It's classic Hideo Kojima, find something you like, and then create something together with them. Oh my god. He's like calling himself out. I think that's probably even more hilarious. He knows exactly what he is. He's a victim of himself, and I think that's awesome. I don't know, I just feel like he gets so inspired by everything. I just can't.
An empty container tagged with a fake ID, aka decoy cargo. Could be useful for fooling folks who can't get enough of other people's deliveries.
I can't fault him for that. So these smoke emitters are pretty cool. I guess we can make one of them. Why not? Hell yeah. Alright. Yep. Attach these to my suit, I guess, yeah. Apologize for taking so long to actually get into the gameplay, but this is kind of the video game in a nutshell. I want to say one of my favorite comedians, Limmy, from Limmy's show, Scotland Man, is actually playing through Death Stranding on Twitch. He's wonderful. It feels like the perfect game for him because he's a huge fan of Euro Truck Simulator, and so am I. And it is quite hilarious watching him play through it with all the delightfully garish colors and everything like that going on. What a delight to see someone like that playing through the game. Alright, what do we want to do here? So we have 3 deliveries we need to make. Evil Devo, unit delivery. We have a prescription for an elderly man. And to the right, we have another delivery to the craftsman. This delivery overall doesn't seem to be that difficult. We're talking like, 46.5 kilograms of weight. But we don't know anything of the surroundings, but I think we can probably take all of these on. So let's go ahead and get them ready to go.
Your destination is a shelter south of Lake Knot City. The package you're carrying contains a network-ready Evo Devil unit. A special device that applies the principles of evolutionary biology to practical problems. When used in conjunction with a chiral printer, it can recreate items from incomplete structural data. It's a prototype, but so far our trials have been successful. The client is a civilian. We call him the engineer, who's agreed to put the unit through validation testing for us. Be careful. The EDU is a delicate piece of equipment that must be handled with care. If you don't, it can and will break. Oh, and the engineer is second gen, born in the shelter. Not so good with people, but he's a whiz with machines. Or so I hear.
I would have loved to have had, like, Christopher Randolph play this engineer character, but sadly it is not. It would have been perfect, man. Just make, like, another, like, I don't know, the son of Huey. Not the son of Huey, but Hal Emmerich. Huey is the father of Hal Emmerich, and then Hal Emmerich... Does he ever get a kid? I don't know. That guy has a weird history.
This is a somewhat unusual order. You're going to want to review the key points in the summary.
Alright. The fragile cargo, basically if we trip, it's going to do like double damage. It's ridiculous. Or it might just straight up shatter. So take the Evil Devo unit to the engineer in Shelter 23-06 and ask him to join the chiral network. The Evil Devo unit works in conjunction with the chiral network and the chiral printer and allows entire objects to be recreated from mere fragments of the original. Be aware that it is still in the prototype stage, however. A device that can be connected to the chiral printer and used to reproduce entire objects based only on partial data. Its development is still at the experimental stage, however. Okay. You also grab Elder.
The client is a first-gen prepper. Old school. Been in and out of shelters since before the death stranding. Deliveries of his medication have fallen behind, though, and he's about to run out. There's just one case you need to bring, but there are multiple packs inside. Every dose counts, so you'd best handle it with care. While the client's life isn't in immediate danger, he's probably having a rough time. Don't keep him waiting, huh?
Gotta reference Metal Gear. Alright, here we go. The Elder in Shelter 23-18 needs his prescription. Take it to him and ask him to join the chiral network. He's getting old, and because his shelter's pretty hard for porters to reach, his supplies are running low. Alright. Medicine that the Elder in the Shelter 23-18 needs on a daily basis. Alright, fair enough. Let's check out gun parts and anti-BT weapon delivery craftsman.
You'll be handing this one off to a guy we call the craftsman. Repairs, modifications, you name it, he can do it. Makes weapons too. Nothing lethal on account of his pacifism. In fact, if you give him something lethal, he'll turn it into something that isn't. A tool designed purely for self-defense. That's what the gun parts listed in the order are for. Make sure they get to him and no one else. Guns make bodies, and bodies make craters. While you're at it, I'd also like you to transport some blood bags and hematic grenades. You know, the ones you field tested against BTs and delivered to Lake Knot City. You'd like to dole them out to the local porters. We've got no reason to keep them to ourselves, so I figured we may as well oblige him.
Alright, words to live by. Bodies make craters. Very true. Take the gun parts and the anti-BT weapons to the craftsman in the Shelter 23-21 and ask him to join the chiral network. The craftsman is interested in self-defense and especially in converting lethal weapons into non-lethal ones. Now that's to say that there is both lethal and non-lethal in the game, just you'll get lethal much later on, and trust me, the lethal in this game is far more problematic than anything in the Metal Gear franchise. Because in Metal Gear, you kill someone, then sure, you can cause an alert if someone finds the body. In this one, it doesn't matter if you cause an alert. It can literally make a crater and make your game a living hell, having to go through an area that has a crater and now golden bodies or golden BTs that can insta-game over you and ruin your life. So definitely be very careful if you ever do choose to kill someone in the game. There are ways to circumvent it by burning the bodies in incinerators, similar to how we dealt with Bridget Strand, but yeah, overall, gotta be a little bit careful there. gun parts and anti-BT weapons, components from various firearms, as well as a package of anti-BT weapons, including hematic grenades and blood bags. Alright, sweet. Okay, so while we are heading out, I don't think we need a lot. We might just need even if we go for a PCC at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to do much with it, but yeah, we'll see what we can do as we head out. I am seeing there is a random post box in the middle of all 3 buildings. I believe we should go to the engineer first, maybe, because he seems to be the closest, but I do also remember there being a pretty dangerous area up ahead full of mules, which is why we have this smoke-emitting little thing here to distract them, hopefully. And if we go to the craftsman, we'll be able to get a weapon to deal with those mules, so we might go there first. As for what we need, I don't really think we need much. We'll make, like, 1 climbing anchor, 1 ladder, just in case. We're already chilling on good amounts of blood bags, and this ought to take care of everything here. We're not going to worry about the hematic grenades. Alright, so let's carry everything on the back. And we'll just grab everything. We'll load it all on. Do a quick little auto organization. And look at that. Not even that bad. 64 of 130 kilograms. Living the dream. Yeah, should be fine. Should be easy going. Now we don't have a vehicle, but that's fine. This is a new area, so we're gonna run into a lot of problems of rocks and all that good fun stuff.
Order assigned.
Now, this is probably going to end up being a 2-parter, just because there's so many things to go to.
Keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on.
You're passing through mule territory. Move fast and quiet. Because if they see you, if they catch you, to think that their parents were porters like you who risked life and limb to try and keep our country together. And now their broken children carry on the work without any understanding of what it once meant. It's a ritual to them, the delivery, an insatiable addiction. And they'll be coming for you to get their next fix.
Weapons restrictions lifted.
Alright, well, welcome to the part of the game that is easily the longest. It'll take us hours upon hours to get through this next part here. This is when the game is truly fully opened up to us, and as we unlock more things here, we'll be able to get even more done. As you'd expect. I love it. It's so nice to see just little trickles of items being made by other players. So I should go over this real quick. This is a node, and essentially, if we open up the structure menu, we should be able to see what we'll be able to craft here.
A highway used to run through there back in the day. The first expedition team left behind a paver, but to finish the job, you'll need more than that.
So as you can see, we need 150 chiral crystals, 800 metals, 600 ceramics to be able to craft this small section of road. And essentially what this road does is it connects from all the way the north part of this map all the way down to the southernmost region. Oh, no, that's actually the Timefall Farm or something like that. Spoilers. And there is, yeah, this is another area down here. I don't know if this is a port or something like that, but I'm just going to call it South Knot. There's a massive crater next to it. There's a road that connects all the way from up here in Lake Knot City, all the way down to South Knot City. And then by the Craftsman, it also has a secondary route that goes all the way out through this like way station or incinerator or whatever that is. I kind of forget. Through this massive jungle thing. And I believe the road actually ends up right here. Yeah, right here. This is where the road ends. So it's pretty massive. It's a huge player effort to actually do this all yourself, which is why building the Cairo network is so great, because the game will actually port some materials over from another player's game into your game, so then you only have to finish the job. You don't have to start it. So typically, you're not going to want to put anything in these until after you've activated the Cairo network and maybe reloaded the game or played for a little bit, had a few instances where you go into the private room, come back out. This will start filling over time. So we're not going to worry about it just yet, but the road to Stranding will begin at some point. When I streamed this on Twitch, that maybe took up 60 billion hours. Okay, maybe not long, but I think a solid 10 hours of gameplay was just building the roads. But we don't even have access to trucks yet, so I'm hesitant to even really start the roads just yet. We can just enjoy the world for what it is for now, and focus on building that road system later. The biggest thing, though, is just building the road from Lake Knot City down to South Knot. The rest of the road system doesn't matter as much super early on. But it's definitely something we would like to look into, I'm sure. So let's use our watchtower. You may have already heard the audio cue, and we got a few warnings saying that mule territory is literally right here. There's even a memory chip, which we'll just lock onto right there. So thankfully we're given all of this information, which is super, super nice. Very, very good stuff. And if we go all the way over to the Craftsman, which is a solid 1.2 kilometers away, we'll actually be able to get a weapon to deal with these guys very, very quickly. But I could just go engage them right now. As we can see, we have to go through this territory to get half a kilometer over to a very important prepper by the name of Engineer. Engineer, is that your real name? However, one thing I did notice is there is a player-made online post box, so let's go ahead and grab that real quick, and we'll just drop our stuff off. That way we don't have to worry about damaging anything. Might be a few handprints along the way. We have a very good chance of just tripping over ourselves here because it's so rocky. But I'm not going to double strap because I don't think it's really necessary. There's no walls or anything. Surprisingly, they got that post box so in there. I don't know how that's even possible. Considering they could just scan us right here, but hey, it's alright. Mules cannot take our stuff from post boxes, which is such a great mechanic for me. Okay, so we'll activate this terminal real quick. I know they just scanned my ass, but that's okay. We will now go into the private locker, not the share locker, because that'd be bad. Let's put all our major, very important stuff in here, such as our prescription medicine, our Evo Devo, and our gun parts. Let's drop these into the private locker, live the dream. Alright, and now we should get scanned, which is fine with me. So we have a smoke emitting decoy cargo, an empty container with a fake ID that can be used to distract mules and others. When destroyed, it emits a cloud of smoke, binding those nearby. Oh, they just scanned my ass. Okay, so we're just going to drop this on the ground. And we are going to run back and lie in wait. There's unfortunately no high grass here. But while those guys are going to get distracted, we can actually use this strand to basically auto-knock them out while they are choking on the gas. There's also gas later on in the game that can just flat knock them out, which I believe if you help the Elder guy, for some reason I want to call the Elder Melder because I've played way too much Monster Hunter in my life, you can upgrade these containers to those sleeping gas type things. I love the synth music though, it's so good. So he's gonna check that there, kick it. I'm gonna get around. Oh god, whoops, I'm sorry. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm actually gonna use my charge. Okay, well, I'm getting my ass kicked, of course. Gonna use my charge. Ooh, let's get around. There we go. His ass. Nice. Pick this up, throw it at him. They're attacking me with range attacks here, so we're gonna run back a little bit. Oh, wait, whoa! Okay, it's been a while since I played, I'm sorry. I just need to get good, yo. Oh, shit. Well, that's gonna be a knockout. So we get to see what happens when you get knocked out. The thing is, I basically have nothing on me, so they can't even, like, do much here. And then we'll just come back in and kick their asses. So they stole my weapons, my equipment, and they've been disposed of at a dump site. But, as you can see, there's nothing here. And they didn't steal anything. Because there was nothing for them to steal. So it all works out. So then we just break back in. Now, the question is, did they wake their buddies up? I believe before, on just regular hard mode, they didn't wake their buddies up. So they would just leave their asses knocked out. I do believe they did steal my ladder, but I don't really care. We can just get another one. Might have also stolen my repelling rope. I should say that stealth does pay in these sorts of scenarios, especially with no gun from the craftsman. And I definitely didn't play that very well, I'll admit. But I felt that would have been a fun opportunity to use the smoke grenade type thing. It looks like we still have a repelling rope, but they took my ladder, which I want back. Although I did whip the ladder at someone's face earlier, so there is that. Alright, I want his buddy to start turning around. His buddy does have a ladder, though, there. It's kind of nice. If his buddy could turn around, then I can actually just take this guy out. Of course, he's walking my way. Oh, shit. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna go over here. I think I just got spotted, though. That's alright, though. So they're in caution because they're yellow. Oh, now they're looking for me, but they can't see anything. They're not engaging with me just because they haven't seen anything other than like a glimpse of me. So at this point, I'm gonna play aggressive. Grab my straps, go for a tackle as I F up immediately. God damn it, it's been a while, I'm sorry. I don't have any of my cool abilities in the game. Like my legs or anything like that, so I'm kind of representing the combat here a little bit bad. How about I grab an energy drink if this will help at all? Oh yeah, a little bit. Nice. Wow, okay. You gotta be face on. Wow, okay. This is Alright. Listen. Next time, in the next episode, we'll take them on properly. And we'll get ourselves a win. That was kind of a derp. Yo, he took my fucking shoes, dude. That's just fucked up. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.